You're watching Netrush Report, the channel where tennis drama meets deep analysis. We unpack the rivalries, the rankings, the meltdowns, and the miracles. Subscribe now and turn on notifications because you won't want to miss what's coming next on the WTA Tour that on August 2nd, 2025, the tennis world was rattled. Coco Gauff, defending her deep run from last year, was sent crashing out of the Canadian Open in a shocking fourth-round defeat at the hands of Canadian teenager Victoria Mboko. Straight sets. 6-1, 6-4. No merci. No warning that T wasn't just an upset. It was an earthquake. And for Iga Swiatek, who had quietly stormed into the fourth round herself with dominant wins over Guohan Yu and Aya, it was the signal she'd been waiting for. The opening she needed. Because with Gauff now stalled at 7,789 WTA points after adding 120 for her fourth-round result, Swiatek had a clear path to chase her down. At that moment, Swiatek stood at 6,813 points, plus 120 for reaching the fourth round. She had already closed the gap to 856 points. But the math only gets more intriguing from there. Here's what Swiatek can earn depending on her results in Montreal. Quarterfinal finish, 7,028 points. Semifinal finish, 7,203 points. Runner-up, 7,463 points. Champion, 7,813 points. Yes, if she wins the Canadian Open, she overtakes Gauff. Simple as that. Just weeks ago, Swiatek had slumped to world number 8, her lowest ranking in nearly 4 years. The critics had begun their chorus. Was her reign over? Was she finally falling behind in a rapidly evolving WTA field? Wimbledon answered that. Swiatek's grass court breakthrough, where she beat Clara Tauson, Ons Jabeur, and eventually took the title, was more than a trophy. It was a statement, a line in the sand. And now, on hard courts in North America, she's proving that the momentum wasn't a fluke. Her next test? A rematch with Tauson in Montreal. A player she just beat 6-4, 6-1 at Wimbledon. Win that, and her eyes shift to the quarterfinals. Then the semifinals. Then the trophy. And with that, Coco Gauff's once secure world number 2 spot gone. You might ask, what does being world number 2 really change? Everything. Because at the US Open, the second seed is strategically positioned to avoid the number 1 seed until the final. Right now, that's Aryna Sabalenka, and Sabalenka is a beast. She'll enter the Cincinnati Open with 12,225 points, and she's defending her US Open title, which means any drop in form, any early exit, could cost her thousands of points. Swiatek, she's defending just 430 points at the US Open, which leads to the most explosive reality of all. Swiatek isn't just hunting Gauff. She's coming for Sabalenka too. It won't be easy. Even if Swiatek wins the Canadian Open, she'll still trail Sabalenka by over 4,400 points. That's a massive gulf, but Sabalenka has 3,000 points to defend in the next month. 1-0-0-0 from the Cincinnati Open, 2-0-0-0 from winning the US Open, and here's the catch. No woman has defended those titles in over a decade. Not even Naomi Osaka. Not even Ash Barty. The last to do it? Serena Williams, way back in 2015. If Sabalenka slips even slightly, and if Swiatek keeps climbing, we're looking at a full-blown power shift at the top of the WTA. Now let's zoom in on Gauff. Her exit to Mboko wasn't just a bad loss. It was a brutal reminder that even at world number 2, no one is invincible. Gauff came into the Canadian Open with confidence, but there were signs of trouble. A lackluster serve, shorter rallies, an uncharacteristically high unforced error count. And against a fired-up home favorite like Mboko, that's a recipe for disaster. She'll still carry momentum into Cincinnati, but now with pressure on her back, that if Swiatek wins Montreal, Gauff will have to outperform her in Cincinnati just to get her seeding back. And if she doesn't, she could be world number 3 by the time the US Open kicks off. That would set up the ultimate nightmare scenario, facing Sabalenka in the semifinals instead of the final, which, as we've seen this year, rarely ends well. Aryna Sabalenka's consistency in 2025 has been nothing short of elite, but there's a pattern no one's talking about, that she's reaching finals and crumbling. Australian Open, lost to Madison Keys in 3 sets. French Open, lost to Coco Gauff in 3 sets. Wimbledon, lost to Amanda Anisimova in 3 sets, 3 straight heartbreakers. 3 final hurdles not cleared. And now, with the WTA Finals, the US Open, and the Wuhan Open all ahead, she faces her biggest challenge yet, defending her lead under immense pressure. Sabalenka is defending 400 points at the WTA Finals and another 1,000 at Wuhan. That's 4,400 points up for grabs, not counting Cincinnati or New York. Can she handle the heat? Because if she falters at just one of those events, and if Swiatek keeps going deep in tournaments, the world number 1 ranking is suddenly wide open to here's what makes Swiatek dangerous. She has nothing to lose. After her doping penalty last year cost her 390 points at Cincinnati, she enters the tournament with no expectations, but all the hunger. She also skipped both WTA 1000 events in Asia in 2024, which means in 2025, she can rack up massive points late in the season, while her rivals are busy defending theirs. Every win matters now. Every round is a point swing. And the best part? Swiatek's team knows this. Her scheduling has been calculated. Her fitness is peaking. And mentally, she's playing with the poise of someone who's already been number 1 and wants it back that she's been here before. And if she can take care of business in Montreal and Cincinnati, the pressure shifts to Gauff and Sabalenka, who have everything to lose by the time the US Open starts. We could be looking at 3 players within striking distance of a number 1 ranking. Here's the possible breakdown after the Canadian Cincinnati Opens. Sabalenka could drop to 9,000 to 10,000 range depending on results. Gauff could be around 7,800, 8,000. Swiatek could rise to 8,000 or Moria Swiatek title at Flushing Meadows could. Then blow the door wide open. And remember, Swiatek has history there. She won the US Open in 2022. She's made the semifinals and quarterfinals since. She knows the surface. The crowd respects her. And the draw could open up depending on Gauff and Sabalenka seedings. If Swiatek enters as world number 2 or number 3, she avoids an early clash with either rival. If she comes in hot off 2 deep runs in Montreal and Cincinnati, she'll be the most dangerous player in the field. And if she wins, the number 1 ranking could be hers again by October. Oh, what do you think? Is this the perfect comeback storm for Iga Swiatek? Or will Coco Gauff and Aryna Sabalenka rise to defend their turf? Drop your predictions in the comments. And if you love deep tennis analysis without the fluff, subscribe to NetRush Report. We bring you the numbers, the narratives, and the real stakes behind every match. Turn on the bell so you don't miss our US Open coverage. It's going to be wild. Thanks for watching. This is NetRush Report, and we'll see you on the court.